Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's always, again, such a fun ride. You are absolutely awesome. Thank you for sending questions. You can see my email address, donna@donnasedge.com, donna@donnasedge.com. Everybody's favorite sports guy is AP Steadham, and he is here with us today. AP, how are you doing?
I'm good, Donna. I'm good. Doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's always so much fun. And you have your own show, AP As We See It. How can folks find the show?
Yeah, they can look on our YouTube channel at AP As We See It. And then we're also on Spotify. Then they can check our Facebook, Instagram, and X accounts. We always have the link for the show. And you can check their local radio stations in the area. So we're heard in 5 states: Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Tennessee. But we have the video broadcast and the audio is on Spotify archives. So you can watch it in a couple places. Listen, watch, whatever is your pleasure.
Absolutely. You know, folks can listen to you right here in South Carolina as well on WZLA radio. So we'll have that outlet for you. As a matter of fact, folks here want to know a little bit more about Clemson and South Carolina. What you got rolling up your sleeves this week?
Oh my goodness, yeah. With Clemson folks, look forward to these videos that we'll have. We'll be at the ACC Football Media Days in Charlotte. They're held on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we'll have the videos of our Clemson interviews up on our YouTube channel at AP As We See It. And so we'll have we're going to do every single team. It'll be that league has 17 teams now. So we'll be busy for 3 straight days covering the players and the coaches and other officials. So yeah, we really look forward to learning about the ACC. And like I said, we'll have the Clemson videos up on our YouTube channel, AP As We See It.
Well, you've been doing this for a long time, but are you finding your questions to the players are going to be just a little bit different now with new rules and regulations?
Yeah, we will have some different questions probably. You know, you ask about the NIL, and then they're also transferring. So we try to fill out a card and have that information in front of us to see how many schools they have played at through their entire career. So we just can get an eye. Some of the players, believe it or not, Donna, we were at the Big 12 last week in Frisco, Texas, right near Dallas. And some of the players, they had played at maybe 2 other schools, maybe some were 3 actually. So we have that information and we try to ask them how they're making their transition. And some of the players, Donna, had not played at the new school, but they brought them to the media days anyway.
That's going to be interesting. So what were the results out of being there last week? What can you tell us?
Yeah, I think the 2 favorites in that conference, Donna, are Texas Tech, who won the league last year.
And then what's going to happen? He's going to be bringing himself back in. Yeah, that's the thing about computers is, especially when you are on a cell phone. So when we have him with us and he's on the cell phone, if his phone rings, I mean, that's the, he needs to get a laptop. We're going to talk to him about that. But we have quite a few questions we want to ask him. And I'm telling you, right here in the middle of Clemson and South Carolina country. So Phil and I were at a picnic. It was the beekeepers, since we keep bees. And this was a picnic we were at over the weekend. And it was so funny because we were in Alabama. It's all you hear was Alabama and Auburn. Well, at this picnic, all you could hear about was Clemson and South Carolina. One of the first words out of their mouth is to ask you which one you're for. And since I'll be taking some college courses for horticulture in Clemson University, I'm going to be the Clemson fan. Now, Phil right now is not saying which one it will be, which one he's going to be rooting for. But wouldn't it be fun? Because I'm Auburn, he's Alabama. Wouldn't it be fun if he chooses South Carolina? Oh, let's kind of hope for that. But it's a whole lot of fun when you have a rival team playing, and you got that in the mix. Now, I'm the only Auburn fan in the whole family. I mean, I am it. So I'm just going to tell you that Iron Bowl is always something every year in Alabama, to be going back and forth with who's going to win and who's losing. And we would nitpick each other. Now, there's one thing that most people in Alabama will say, and that is, don't talk politics during the holidays and don't talk football during the holidays. But we did anyway. But I would like to hear from you. Who is your favorite team? And we'll have these questions coming for AP, but who is your favorite team? And how do you think it's going to play out? How are the football rivalries? And I'm talking about all over the country. It doesn't have to be just South Carolina and then Alabama, because AP and I scope it out all over the place. So if you've got your favorite team, some things that you would like to see happen, I would like to know. But I'm going to, right now, you guys are giving me quite a few questions. So let's talk about this right here before he gets back. He's having a problem, I think, with his phone. But here's a question I think is really good, and it's about the preview for the overview for this coming season. And let me know what you think about these questions, because a lot of them are coming from you. But one is, before a single snap is played, which SEC team do you believe is the team to beat this season? Now, everybody's going to say, I got the best team, of course. But I'm just going to tell you who I think the one you need to beat probably for the whole season is probably going to be Georgia. I agree with AP about that. Georgia has a proven track record, but now there are some Cinderella teams that are coming out there as well. I'm not saying it because I'm an Auburn fan. I'm saying that I think Auburn has the chance this year to be the Cinderella team. And the reason I think that is because you got new coaching comes in, you got new players coming in. It's going to be a whole new attitude out there. And we all know attitude sometimes makes a difference. Now, a lot of you are sending me email. You're not happy with the NIL. And I have to tell you, I got some problems with that too. And so some of you have asked me questions about that. Let me see if I can find some of those. Yeah, the transfer portal is the big question right now. So has the transfer portal made college football more exciting or more unpredictable? I'm saying unpredictable. And I'm going to say for quite a few reasons, because I remember the day, it was really important. This is probably just from growing up in Alabama, where you've got your Alabama and your Auburn teams. And so it was almost like it was a family tradition. Okay, somebody played at Alabama, their kids, their grandkids, everybody plays in Alabama. Same with Auburn. You've got all those things you have to think about as well. But it doesn't feel like you're in for the home place stretch anymore, because people can quit a team. It feels like it's kind of taking away from the pride, like my granddaddy played at Alabama. My daddy played at Alabama. So-and-so was in the band. So-and-so was a cheerleader, whatever, at Alabama. Do you feel like it's taking a little bit of the pride away? I kind of do. Because for the money, and I'm not totally against college football players making money. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when I can be offered this money to go play for another team, is that taking away the football charm or the team pride away? And also remember when we had AP interviewed a bunch of guys that played for Coach Paul Bear Bryant back in the 1960s. And you remember those segments, and they were about 4 years ago. And in those segments, do you remember that the guys would come on the show and that, man, they had all this pride. I mean, they were talking about, playing for the Bear, asking questions about, what was Miss Bear Bryant about? What was she like? And they would say, she's the one that if you had a cold or if you had a flu coming on or whatever, she would always have the medicine for you. She was always the ones you could always kind of warm up. If you were thinking about marrying somebody, you go to her just like you would your mother or your grandmother. And so she was that kind of a person. So a lot of the guys wanted to get on the bus with her instead of with the coach. They heard from him all week. So they'd get on there and talk with her. So, but she was, I really think she was probably the balance to that team. But the problem I'm thinking, though, is because people can transfer, are you really going to have that pride you had? I mean, are the fans going to feel, the fan base, are they going to feel that pride? You see where I'm coming from? So, we've got all those things that we need to think about because of the NIL and because of these new things that they're put into place. So here's the questions that a lot of you guys have asked. Okay, So, has the transfer portal made college football more exciting or unpredictable? I just answered this. As far as I'm concerned, unpredictable. I'm going to say, who knows? Somebody could quit. Now, I have heard there are some new rules that are being made as we go. And so what I have heard is that not going to be able to change like last year. I mean, people would change like 3 or 4 times in the season. And that, to me, that needed to be fixed. That really needed to be fixed. So that would make it unpredictable. And then this is another question you guys have asked is, do you think NIL has helped college football overall, or has it created more problems than solutions? Well, I'm going to say right now, the AP always says the Wild West days. I'm going to say we're in the Wild West still. Now, they've made a couple of changes that I think are going to really make it a lot easier. But as far as I think we're still in the Wild West. I think we still have some things that we need to have fixed. One thing I think is going to really make it a challenge is when another college is offering you more money to come play for them. You know, money talks, and you know what walks. We've heard that, our entire lives, and it's true. I'm just telling you, more people are going to pull away from the team that they're at, and that's going to take away some of that pride, I think. What do you guys think about if another team can take you away, they can't offer more money? It has to be something else. What are your thoughts about that? Now, which SEC team benefited the most from the transfer portal this past season, this off season? I don't know. What do you think? I'm still saying that Georgia is a powerhouse, but another question that comes up is we're adding more of the teams playing this year. It's going to be a lot more to their schedule. And people get tired. I mean, everybody does. You know what I mean? I mean, not only old folks like me, but I'm just talking about college guys get tired as well. Think about this. Okay, not only do you have your studies, you got to keep a particular grade point average. Now, a lot of the guys have tutors. I understand that. But you're adding more games to the portal. I mean, is that not going to cause a little more exhaustion? You see what I'm saying? So there's so many questions, so many things that I have, and I know you guys do too. And I appreciate all the questions that are coming out because I'm just telling you, they fit with what I think as well. Let's go into a commercial break, and maybe AP is going to be right back in just a minute. So y'all hang in there, okay? Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. You know, finding the right home isn't just about bedrooms and square footage. It's about comfort, security, and the feeling you get the moment you walk through the door. That's why so many families across Greenwood and the Lakelands area trust Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams. And I'll tell you from personal experience, Jenny was my realtor, and she truly cares about her clients. Jenny takes the time to listen, to understand what matters most, and to guide you every step of the way, whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or ready to sell. Because this isn't just a transaction, it's your life. With local knowledge, personal care, and a commitment to getting it right, Jenny Ferguson makes the process simple and even enjoyable. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now's the time to make your move. Call Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams in Greenwood today and take the next step toward a place you'll truly love coming home to. Shine your style at Kiss My Glass right here in the Anderson Mall. There's a place where style meets sparkle. At Kiss My Glass, every piece is handcrafted, custom designed, and made to shine just like you. Owner Beth Gibson brings creativity to life with stunning custom tumblers, gifts, and one-of-a-kind pieces you won't find anywhere else. Look for the perfect gift or something uniquely you, from bold and glamorous to simple and elegant. There's something for every style, so stop by, get inspired, and leave with something unforgettable. Kiss My Glass inside the Anderson Mall, Anderson, South Carolina, where your sparkle begins. Be sure to check out Kiss My Glass on Facebook for updates and specials and gift ideas.
Lowe's knows that the projects you build in spring are the ones you can't wait to share. It's why we make sure you have our best deals with My Lowe's Rewards, and that you get help from people who've
been there,
done that.
Try this.
This spring, we'll help you build something rewarding. Hey, Stan.
What's up? I made you something.
Oh, thank you.
And I got something for you. You grew these? Of course.
Lowe's knows how to help you spring. Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Because of your overwhelming support, our 1488 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing, including my classic standard MyPillows, only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.
Good afternoon. We're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television talk show and radio and podcast. Thank you so much for watching. AP is apparently having some technical difficulties, so let's just go on ahead and finish up the show. I've thought about this, and this is lessons that we can learn, okay? It's almost like even ministers at church will give you some kind of analogy that has something to do with football, sometimes when they're preparing their message. So let's talk about that. So let's talk about lessons that we can learn from football or basically any sport. One of those is that preparation matters, because we know that championships are just not won on game day. They are actually won the weeks and the months of preparation beforehand, because life works the same way. Whether you're preparing for a job interview, raising a family like we do, planting a garden, or starting a business, success usually comes the work nobody sees. Okay. So what I'd like to know, and you can respond back to me with an email. The email is right down there, Donna@donnasedge.com. What are you preparing for today that will benefit you tomorrow? I'm preparing for a whole lot of stuff right here, because we're adding on to the show. We're syndicated, so we're adding more areas of ways that you can watch us and you can see us more at your leisure and not just at 2:00. But those are things that we have to listen to you about. Now, let's talk about lesson number 2. And this is the one that I think is absolutely fantabulous. It's teamwork makes the difference. And sometimes we're afraid, and according to a lot of the questions that you guys have sent me about the NIL and the way things are changing, is what's this doing about to teamwork, where, and it does make a difference. So let's talk about that for a minute. So very few people actually achieve great things alone, because behind every successful athlete is a team of coaches, trainers, family members, and friends. And the same is true in real life. We all need people who encourage us, challenge us, and remind us just to keep going. Isn't that the truth? But if we got the NIL going, and so you have all these team players that you've been working, you've got each other's back, you're doing all these things. You've got the coach that you relied on to give you wonderful experience. But if we lose all of that, what is that going to do to team spirit? We'll know in the years to come what this is going to do. So let's talk about lesson number 3. Okay, this is you learn more from losing than from winning. Oh, sometimes I have to question that one because nobody likes to lose. No one likes to do that. But often our greatest, and I've got to admit this one, I agree with this, the greatest growth comes after disappointment. Because this is what you do. You set back, and every setback is going to teach us something different. If we're willing to listen to that setback and what caused the issue, I'll use it in gardening. Okay, so my first thoughts were, when you have a garden, and so I'm going to teach you football, and I want to teach you a little bit about gardening at the same time. So we tried something new, and I told Phil, I said, let's go ahead and talk about companion planting. Well, what I've heard in companion plantings, you can put your tomatoes, you can put herbs together, you can put lettuce. Well, I got to say this, the lettuce is doing great being planted under the tomatoes. Some of the herbs, not so much. So what I've done, I'm keeping a book about this. And so I'm writing, it's almost like a little diary. It's a garden diary. And so I'm jotting everything down. And, what did I do? The basil isn't doing as well as some of the other herbs are doing. So I've learned that lesson. So again, it's a setback because I don't have as much basil as I'd like to have. Tomatoes are doing great, but the basil could use some help. But every setback is going to teach us something if we're willing to learn. And that's the whole thing. I'm not too old to learn anything, and you're not either. But sometimes the losses can become the foundation for future victories. And that's happened so much in my life. Instead of just quitting and just giving up like the coyote, on the the coyote and the roadrunner, learn from those mistakes and try a different way to make a different approach. The problem with coyote, he keeps doing the same thing over and over again. But we're not going to be that way. Okay, lesson number 4, discipline beats motivation. How is that? Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. Motivation comes and it goes. Discipline gets you out of the bed early. It's the reason you get up in the morning. The chickens get us up in the morning, okay? Discipline keeps you moving when you're tired. Athletes understand this, and it's a lesson that we can all apply and learn with. If you've got the reason that you do things, if you know, what is it that keeps you up at night? What is it that you think about? We can apply that to the discipline and the motivation, and it gets us all going. Now let's do question number 5, and that's respect your opponent. Great competitors respect those they compete against. Now in life, we don't have to agree with everyone, but we can choose kindness, respect, and integrity. So character is revealed not only in how we win, but also how we treat others. A lot of folks I've seen do this. Okay, so they don't like their competitor, they hate their competitor. And all that's going to do is cause issues because life has a way of turning things around. I've learned not to burn bridges because you just never know when you're going to have to cross that bridge again. And if you burn that bridge down, you may wind up having to take several hours out of your schedule to get across instead of being able to get across that bridge again. But knowing your competitors and knowing how they work and having some respect for them, I'm just telling you, when I was with GTE, Jan, who worked with Bell South Mobility, I gave her a lot of business. It would be people that I couldn't help. They had the better coverage than we had. So instead of watching the customer be disgruntled and aggravated at me, I would rather send them to Jan. And guess what? Almost every single one of them, after the contract was over, they came right back to Mama. And that's what will happen if you'll respect your competitors. You'll find they're not going to fight with you as much. Now, Jan and I became friends, but I'm just saying, your competitors can be a great thing because what this does, because I gave people Jan's phone number and they decided to get cell phones with her because they had the best coverage, much better than we had. It was integrity on my part. I could not have told them enough that I have integrity. You have to show integrity. Okay, how about lesson number 6? Never quit too soon. Oh boy, how many times have I quit when something was just about to happen for the best? Lesson number 6 says never quit too soon because many games are won in the final minutes. I got to tell you this one. You guys remember Alabama and Auburn playing? Okay, we were just taking a beating. I'm an Auburn fan. Phil is an Alabama fan. We were being beat to death. Well, at the very last, Auburn finally decided to play games. Okay, they decided to play ball. So, and we were doing the celebration. It's like Alabama had won this game. Well, guess what? The Auburn guy intercepted the ball, and he runs all the way across and scored enough points where Auburn won that game. See, I could have given up on them. Even though I gave up on them, they still won. So it didn't really matter whether I did or not. But I'm just saying, sometimes we give up on stuff. And man, it's just about to make a big deal for us. And we give up. We're saying, oh, it's not going to happen. You've got to be positive. That Auburn player was apparently pretty positive there. He got the win for it. So instead of me crying and carrying on and just gnashing of teeth and just going nuts, I was happy that day. As a matter of fact, I kind of used it to my advantage. Sometimes I would say, hey, got a second? Because it took the guy, he got the ball and he ran across the line. But if teams quit because they're behind, there would never be any great comebacks. And don't we love those nail-biting comebacks? Alabama and Auburn have both always been famous for that. I mean, they could just like be doing nothing. And you'd be thinking, well, what do they think? They're at a dance or something instead of the football game? And then all of a sudden, here comes the comeback. They start making momentum, and they won the game. And we've all seen football games happen that way. Life is the same way. Okay, let's talk about life. As much the same, just don't give up simply because today it didn't go your way, okay? And there are a lot of times things don't go your way. It's not your time yet, okay? It's not your time to shine. So just bear with it, learn from the mistakes. Lesson number 7 is every person has a role. Not everyone scores the winning touchdown. Some block, some coach, some encourage, some quietly make everything else possible. Think about the kicker. How many times have you seen the kicker be the one who wins the game? How many times? I've seen it just multiple times. But every role matters. So do not underestimate the value of what you bring to your family, your workplace, of your community. Sometimes you're the water boy. And you know what? If not for the water boy, think about all of the guys that are going to pass out from overheat that we have in the South. Number 8, one more I think we can do. This one, celebrate others. A truly great teammate celebrates another person's success. So imagine how much stronger our communities would be if we spent less time comparing ourselves and more time cheering on each other. And just let me see, you be the person who backs everybody else. I'm just telling you, you can learn a lot from that. Let's talk about the scoreboard doesn't define you. Okay, in sports, the scoreboard tells you who won the game, right? It doesn't tell you who showed up. It doesn't tell you who showed courage. It doesn't tell you who displayed integrity or who inspired others. Now, in life, success isn't measured only by our titles, trophies, or our bank accounts. Sometimes it's measured by the lives we touch and the legacy that we leave. Now, as we enter another season of college football, and as it approaches, let's remember that while we enjoy the competition, the greatest victories happen mainly off the field. They're found in perseverance, humility, discipline, teamwork, and hope. Whether you're raising your children, caring for aging parents, starting over after a disappointment, purchasing, or chasing a lifelong dream, keep moving forward. You may not be able to control every outcome, but you can always control your attitude, your effort, and your character. And those victories that last long after the final whistle of the football game. Thank you again so much for watching. You're the reason we do what we do. I hated that we lost AP, but I hope you learned a little bit about football from me and some life-changing ideas. Again, you have a great one. We'll see you next time.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities.